A very good evening to you wherever you might be finding yourself, and welcome to Diplomatic Communique. I'm Ricardo Knagosab, your host of the program. Namibia and Zambia have been enjoying very cordial relations even before independence, with Zambia supporting Namibia in its long and protracted battle for freedom and independence. Tonight we spotlight on our diplomatic mission in Zambia. I'm joined in studio by our ambassador to Zambia, Haindongo Siyave. Ambassador, thank you so much for making time out to come and join us
for this conversation. Thank you very much for inviting me to this very important interview.
In terms of this, of course, looking at the diplomatic ties between Namibia and Zambia, before we get into what we are currently doing, I think it's important to reflect a little bit on the historical ties that the two countries share.
Zambia and Namibia are friends of all weather friends. And the relationship between Zambia and Namibia dated back during our independence struggle. So they are friends. Zambia and the other frontier states, they support Namibia's struggle for independence. So they supported the Namibian people materially, and they also support them economically and also political. So now, after independence, the two countries continue to enjoy their already existence relations. And by doing that, they established the Joint Payment Commission on Cooperation, as well as a Joint Payment Commission on Defense and Security.
In terms of that Joint Permanent Commission, what are some of the areas that covers?
There are certain areas where they entered into agreement. For example, trade and also investment. So by doing that, these two commissions are there for them to collaborate so that the bilateral relations can be strengthened. And to do that, there are certain areas where they have to cooperate, and I think we have done a good job when it comes to trade. So there are certain memorandum of understanding where they signed in order to enhance the economic trade
between the two countries.
Yes.
In terms of the cooperation, and I think perhaps that you've preempted me there, or the trade. Let's get into that trade discussion. How does the trade balance between the two countries look like currently?
Currently, there are few trade activities taking place between the two countries. This one is perhaps maybe because we have similarity activities, economic activities, both in Namibia as well as in Zambia. So, and the most important thing is the trade between the companies in Namibia and the companies in Zambia. We are working on it so that Zambians can go and buy things for Namibia and vice versa. So these are now between the companies of Zambia and the companies in Namibia. So they are using now these agreements with the entity between the two countries.
In terms of the trade, what is it that we are exporting to Zambia, if at all? Because of course we know that it is an important, that we are an important corridor for them from a logistics perspective, because of the fact that we have a port and some of the goods pass through Namibia into Zambia. What are some of these goods that we are trading with them, and are there perhaps goods that we're importing also from Zambia?
The potential items that are exporting from Zambia to Namibia is, for example, maize, but we are not doing it now, but we are planning to do it, and sugar, honey, and the rest.
You're watching Diplomatic Communique on NBC One. When we come back after the break, we continue to discuss our diplomatic relations with Zambia. Welcome back. You're watching Diplomatic Communique on NBC One. Of course, Zambia is in the spotlight for tonight on this program that focuses on our foreign services. I'm joined by the ambassador to Zambia, Ambassador Haindongo Siyave, to just unpack the relations between the two countries. Ambassador, a bit earlier on, we were speaking about economic cooperation and, of course, the potential for further strengthening and deepening of trade relations between the two countries. But Zambia and Namibia also have a deep political connection historically, but are also part of the regional bloc, the Southern African Development Community. How many common values do we share in as far as politics and democracy is concerned?
Thank you very much. On that question, both countries, Zambia as well as Namibia, they are members of the SADC community. And as you may be aware, that currently Zambia is the chair of SADC, and Namibia is the outgoing chair. So by their engaging as a group, they are doing well in enhancing the political situation, the stability of the political situation in both countries as well as in the region. So,
in terms of that cooperation, how is it? If we look at now outside of SADC moving towards the African Union, we know that they've of course also been from the different regions, whether it's ECOWAS in the west, of course in the east, as well as SADC. There's always, I don't want to say a fight for power, but trying to have that recognition and position, whether it's in the Parliament, the African Parliamentary Union, or whether it's in the African Union. How do we foster those relations so that we can continue to work together on some of those common interests?
The Namibian people, the Namibian government as well as the Zambian government, their stand are the same when it comes to the region, because they all are striving to peace and stability in the region, the SADC region. And as I said, currently both two countries are serving on the structure of the organ. For example, now Zambia is the chair of the Troika and is dealing with the defense and security of the region. So they are doing cooperations, they are working together in order to enhance the security situation in the region.
And of course, the defense and security cooperation was going to be my next question. Looking at this, of course, we know that there were collaboration in the past when it was work in DRC, when there was a peace mission to support the peace in DRC. They'd also collaborated there as well. In terms of defense and security, what are the kind of collaboration that we have with Zambia? Of course, I know sometimes the defense discussions can be a bit sensitive, but what you can share with us here?
Yeah, on the cooperation with Namibia and Zambia, so we have they have engaged in the training of our staff on a rotation basis. So every year they send us 4 slots and we send them 2 slots. That's by training the staff of the officials.
Besides Zambia, Ambassador, you are of course also concurrently accredited to Malawi as well. How are the diplomatic relations between Malawi and Namibia?
Yeah, since independence, Malawi and Namibia entered into agreement to cooperate, but there's not so much happened since the independence. There's only little things happened. Up to now, there are only agreements, but no memorandum of understanding has been signed.
What are we doing at the mission to work towards that, to improving that relationship?
Yeah, currently we are busy now trying to encourage the two governments to come together in order to see whether there are something that they can put up so that they can work together economic field as well as the political field.
And what is the feeling from the side of Malawi? Are they also keen in terms of that cooperation? Are they forthcoming?
Yeah, they are very keen to come with ideas to the Namibian government so that they can come and work together.
Now, if you're looking at Malawi as well, they are strategically located, of course. There are some neighbors of Malawi that are still experiencing a bit of civil unrest, the DRC, etc., etc. How do you make sure that, we maintain that, I don't want to say a bubble of peace, but just making sure that some of those civil unrest that are happening around the neighboring countries do not really flare in? Is that a concern for Malawi?
Yeah, there is a big concern for Malawi because, as you know, Malawi himself is also having a problem with economic, and he's also dependent on other countries to support him. And for example, there was discussions with Namibia and Malawi so that Malawi can be also afforded a dry port at Walvis Bay. So this is on the pipeline for discussion, and later on maybe it can materialize.
Probably. In terms of the particularly just making that connection with Malawi and Zambia as well, and now that you've mentioned the tripod, it brings us to the issue around the logistics hub that we're trying to establish as Namibia, this ambition that we want to connect other landlocked SADC countries to get access to the port and of course make use of our logistics infrastructure. Is Malawi also part of that conversation, or is it only stopping at Zambia in terms of the logistics hub?
Yes, probably it's also part of the conversation.
And what are some of the low-hanging fruits in as far as the economic opportunities are concerned for Namibian business people that would want to do business in Malawi?
The most important activities there is the agriculture sector. Yeah, there are people in Malawi who want also to join venture with Namibia on the agriculture activities.
When we talk about agricultural activities, is it a primary activities like production, or is it also secondary service like manufacturing and value addition?
Currently, all the countries are striving to do the also secondary activities as well as so that they can be having value addition to the products of agriculture.
Well, of course, in terms of that, I think one of the most important things is the connection, and many people have said, where particularly with Zambezi region, Kavango East, Kavango West, where they're located on that nexus with Angola, Botswana, etc., that there are massive opportunities for agricultural production up there. Could this also be an opportunity, particularly for that part of the country, since there's such a close proximity with Zambia and Malawi, to be able to foster more deeper relations and even much more faster in terms of turnaround time?
That's good. That's correct. As of now, Zambia has allocated a piece of land to Namibia, which also Malawi can do, so that they can joint venture together, the three countries, in agriculture, because there is a need for all the countries to work together in order to secure food security. That is what I think will be the best thing to do for the three countries.
Well, we still continue with Diplomatic Communique here on NBC. When we come back after the break, we conclude our conversation with our ambassador to Zambia. Stay with us. Welcome back to Diplomatic Communique. Tonight we're talking, of course, to the Zambian Ambassador, Haindongo Siyave, to just unpack, of course, the relations between Namibia and Zambia, as well as who is concurrently accredited to, which, of course, is Malawi. A little bit earlier on, of course, we're investigating what are some of the potential opportunities economically between the three countries. But, of course, we can't also ignore the role that Malawi also plays in regional peace and stability as well. Is there any cooperation in the defense security peace area with Malawi?
As I previously indicated, that there's few things they entered into with Zambia and Malawi, but currently they are busy now trying to come cooperation in that field.
The Ambassador, we see now, and I really want to just tap on your experience within the diplomatic service as well, that we have quite a young population, and slowly but surely we're seeing young people enter the diplomatic space as well, for work, to have it also as a career as well. I just wanted to find out from your side as well, what are some of the main tenets that we need to remember as we are now starting to take on the task of diplomacy to represent Namibia elsewhere as young people?
I think there are a lot of lessons to be drawn from the current situation, because currently the diplomacy is concentrating on economic diplomacy. So they are doing away with this political tendency of diplomacy. Now we are concentrating on economic diplomacy. So we need the young people also to be part and parcel of that development. So for them, we need to encourage them to work hard while they are still in schools, so that they can get that knowledge, and also use that knowledge to develop our country economically.
In terms of that, the current state globally, and I just wanted us to reflect on that also a little bit, we see there's a lot of flare-ups and a lot of civil unrest and conflicts that are taking place globally. Of course, we've got the situation in Palestine, we've got the situation with Ukraine and Russia. Now we have the coups that took place in West Africa as well. And many political commentators are saying that diplomacy could potentially be failing because there are wars that are being started, and diplomacy is supposed to be responsible for making sure that there are no wars that start in the first place because we talk to each other. How do you feel about these views? Globally, is the diplomacy in trouble, or we can do something better to improve relations between countries?
Yeah, there are certain things that we have to think and try to use in order to end these conflicts. And the best way now is only to come together and discuss dialogue. That's the only way we have to adopt that system of not to be involved in conflicts by fighting each other, but try to come together and discuss and try to find out solutions to the problems.
Well, in conclusion, Ambassador, how should we look at the Namibians, or how should Namibians view the relationship that we have with Zambia and Malawi?
Yeah, we can use it by concentrating on economy, because this is the only way we can be attracted to each other, so that we can work together, and then we secure food for all our citizens in both three countries. This is the best way to do.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, for making time out to join us.
Thank you very much.
There we have it, of course, Ambassador Haindongo Siyave, our ambassador to Zambia as well as Malawi, just giving us some insights concerning the bilateral relations between the two countries on your favorite program that focuses on our foreign service. This has been another edition of Diplomatic Communique. I'm Ricardo. Until next time, bye-bye.